Kristen.
And Trail.
What are we talking about today?
Relationships.
Relationships.
Yeah.
Relationships are a great thing.
Yes, they are.
We're in a very healthy and fruitful relationship.
Yes, we are.
And I am very thankful for you. So I just want to say, by the time we release this, but we officially are recording this on Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Happy Mother's Day to you, my queen.
Thank you, King. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, we put together something I think was pretty dope at church, even though I fumbled the ball and it didn't play all the way through. But for the people that want to see it, you can go to the Christian Provision YouTube page and you can find that. Just research Happy Mother's Day 2024 and you'll see what I'm talking about.
And now let me just say, you didn't drop the ball. I mean, it is what it is. Computers are computers.
Computers do what computers do sometimes.
That's it. They are finicky just like people. So
that is true. That is true.
You can have something already set and the computer say, no, I ain't gonna do it. But no.
Is that the computer's fault or is that human error though?
It's the computer, because you can have it all. You can have it all set up to go, and if the computer glitch, the human can't touch that.
Okay, you're right. You're right. I give you that.
Yeah, no. And what played of it, what we did see, was awesome. It was great. I think we didn't see the last minute of it.
It was the last 29 seconds, to be honest. Yeah.
So yeah.
Pro presenter stopped it at 2 minutes exactly. The full video was 2 minutes and 29 seconds.
So yeah, it was okay. It was okay. The mothers, we got it. We understood it.
The reaction that I heard from the back is, I think, exactly what we wanted.
Exactly.
We wanted to bring that emotional. We wanted to make y'all laugh.
You did.
And we wanted to make y'all tear up.
You did.
So if we hit on that mark, then
you did.
All is well. All is well. Okay. So relationships. I think I want to talk about. Well, I want to start off by talking about your favorite couple. But first of all, before I get into all of that, y'all make sure y'all hit up Sense by Yaya. Go support my daughter.
Yes.
SenseByYaya.com.
Yes.
Use code KrisMo and you'll get 10% off of any of your candle purchases. If you don't know, Sense by Yaya is a candle company that was started by, at that point, our 10-year-old daughter, who is now 14.
Yes.
She is an aspiring pilot. She is a gymnast, and now she's a gym coach.
Yes.
So shout out to Miss Talia and everything that she does.
Yes.
But again, this show is brought to you by Sense by Yaya. And again, make sure you go and get some of those candles. Blue Dream was made by me. It's one of the most awesome smells. But she has a lot of great scents on her website, so go check that out.
Yes.
All right. So you're one of your favorite celebrity couples.
Yes.
And we briefly discussed this the other night. And I said, I think we should table this and bring it back on the show.
Yes.
So I'm going to let you go.
All right. So one of my favorite celebrity couples, this was Tiana Taylor and her husband, Iman Shumpert.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were an excellent couple together. Hate to see that they're going through a divorce now. Again, I don't know the inner workings of everything, but from the outside looking in, they look like a great couple.
Mm-hmm.
Saw their shows that they did together. They seem like the average family. You know, they have their issues. They work through their issues. Everything was good. And now to see that they're going through a divorce, and then to see the stuff that's in the news, and again, strictly off of reports.
Right.
And I was a fan. Let me say, I was a huge fan of him and a huge fan of her. To see what they put in what was put in the blogs and put out there, it was disappointing. To know she's at home, you know, he was previously in the NBA, and she was supporting him in that, and now he's retired from the NBA. And he's acting, he's rapping, he's doing other things outside of that. And all seemed like she was supporting him in that. And then it seems as though, again, strictly off of reports, is that although she retired from music, her other endeavors took off. And he wasn't as supportive of her in that. Which is disappointing, because we all want our partner to support us in everything. And not to say that strictly off reports. I don't know if he was or he wasn't. But we as women, we want our spouse to support us in our endeavors, especially when we've been supportive in theirs. So, yeah, it was just disappointing to see or to read from what's been put out there that he wasn't supportive of her. And especially in previous years, he was supportive. It's like, what the heck happened? Like, again, they've always done everything together. So it just really threw me for a loop to read that he wasn't supportive of her. Like, come on, man. She is bad. Like, in every sense of the aspect, she is bad. Like, you got one of the baddest chicks in the game.
I can't disagree with
on
that.
your side. Like, come on. I mean, and again, what we see on the outside could be different at home. But in a marriage, one of the vows you say, it is for rich or for poor, through sickness and health, through good, through bad, y'all are there. What made it get so bad that you had to leave? Like, that y'all are divorcing? And again, everybody goes through things. They have their deal breakers.
Mm-hmm.
But what was put out, previously, things were put out about people's marriages. If you were able to get through those things together, what was the deal breaker?
That's legitimate. To that, I would respond, number one, musicians can never retire from music.
This is true.
And I'm gonna say that simply because, in my opinion, she had one of the hardest tracks off of that last Diddy album, or the Love album, whatever his name is. I think the name of that song was Closer to God.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in my opinion, she had one of the best tracks off of that album. She is still heavily connected to music because she started a dance company or something like that, and a production company. I know she started a production company.
Aunties, I think that's what it is.
I'm not sure of the name of it, but I do know she
Yes.
started a production company. So she may not release any albums, but to me, it's just like Jay-Z saying he was retiring back in the day, and then you come back with the 444 album. You never really retire from music. You'll be an artist forever. You jump on somebody's song, you do a feature, you're still an artist.
Yes.
All right, so that's first and foremost. I think from what I have seen in the public just of Tiana Taylor, I think she has a very strong personality, which I would not doubt he knew that going into the relationship. And my speculation, let me say that first, my speculation would be that maybe the communication level wasn't all the way there. And what I mean by that is you got a lot of dynamics at play in celebrity relationships, right? Because I got my thing, like you said, I'm an NBA player, so I'm on the road, I'm traveling a lot. You're an artist, you're an actress, so you're touring, you're on set. So it's like spans of time to where we're not around each other. Now, granted, we might got all the money in the world, and I can jump on a flight and go anywhere I want to go for a couple hours and then come back to what I'm doing. But we still have obligations, right? So I would definitely say maybe the communication wasn't all the way there, or maybe as life progressed, things got more difficult. Then we seen, like you said, how he transitioned from being a player to an actor. I think he started a podcast or something like that. So of course you want to keep yourself relevant in the game. He started doing music all of his own. He was on Dancing with the Stars, and I believe he won that. He did. And which probably had a lot to do with Tiana because she's a dancer. So Like, I like the way you put it the other night. Like, she had him up there doing that 1-2 step. You're not gonna get out here and embarrass us.
You can't, because that's her thing. Like, she's been known for dancing. Like, what? And I'll go ahead and make the joke. What I told him was like, you know, good and doggone well. She was like, you 1-2 step. No, you ain't got it right. You got to do it again. Do it again.
Yeah,
Nope.
yeah.
Nope. You're not gonna get out here in this stage and be embarrassing me. That ain't gonna happen. That's what I do. That's what I do. You not finna embarrass me. Ain't gonna happen. So yeah, I know she was on him. I hope she was on, because somebody it'll probably come out. Nah, she won't. He practiced with Dance with Stars. Yes,
yeah,
he
absolutely.
did. He absolutely did. But she was at practice watching to see what was going on.
Absolutely.
And she was at home. Like,
they got teams.
Come on,
absolutely.
let's get this going. You might not be there practicing, but we practicing here. Let's get this going.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, again, I just thought they were a great couple together. I thought their dynamic worked together. And of course, they look good together. They made beautiful children together. And it's outside looking in, they were a great couple. And I just hate to see great black couples walk away from each other.
So I guess my question would be in that, like, how do we get to that point? And again, I'm going back to my same statement. I think the number one key
is communication.
It's communication.
It's communication. It is. Communicate. If you don't talk, things break down.
Absolutely.
How is the next person going to know what you're thinking if you don't talk?
Absolutely.
And I can attest to that. I suffered from that myself. I didn't know how to articulate myself earlier in our marriage, so I held stuff in. I held it in until it got to a boiling point, and then I blew. And you were trying to figure out, well, how did this one little thing get all of this? But it was piled on, and I didn't let you know what was going on. So in that aspect, I understand it, to where if you communication is key.
Communication is key. And even with you saying that, I can say in my own transgression was maybe I wanted to force my way of thinking on you without valuing your perspective in a situation.
Agree.
So
so the thing with communication is this: it is both parties have to be willing to listen.
Absolutely. And
you have to be willing to listen to understand versus listening to respond.
Correct. Say that again. You just dropped a gem.
You have to listen to understand versus listening to respond. That means if you got a little hourglass or you got a timer, set a timer. Turn on an hourglass if you got an hourglass. If you don't, set the timer on your phone. Let that person talk. Let him get it all out their system.
Mm-hmm.
Let them talk. Even if the timer is up and they still talking, let them finish. Let them get their complete thought out. And then at that point, you can say, okay, you get it all out? All right, now this is what I heard. Please understand. And if I missed something, please let me know if I missed it, because I want to understand what you're saying. Again, you're not listening to respond, you're listening to understand. Because everybody is not going to think the same thing. Everybody's not going to have the same thought process. You may say the sky is blue, but if I look up and I say, well, no, it's partly cloudy, it'll look more gray than blue. Everybody's not going to see the same thing.
Truth.
Everybody's not going to have the same feeling towards things. So you have to be willing to listen to understand versus listening to respond. And
then on top of that, I'm going to say sometimes women just want to vent, or men just want to vent. So it's not even that there is something to respond to. And I think as a man, as the head of the household, we get this persona like, I have to protect, I have to fix, I have to solve everything. Mm-hmm. And sometimes your problem isn't to be solved. My job in that moment is to simply listen. Mm-hmm. listen and let you get it out.
And even and now I'm gonna say that's even to a wife's even in my space. I give you the opportunity to vent. There are some times to where you may vent something, and I'm thinking in my head, okay, well, if he would do this, this might help. But you didn't ask me for that. You didn't ask me for that. And a lot of times, even I'll say we as women, we want to help fix, just like you guys want to help fix. But that's not what you came to me for. You came to me because you needed to vent. You needed to get it off your shoulder. You needed to get it off your mind. You just needed to get something out of you so you wouldn't burst. So when your partner is venting, sit there quietly. Let them get it again. Let them get it all out. When they stop and they take a breath, at that moment you can say, okay, what do you need from me in this instance? Right now, how can I help you? Was this just the vent? Do you need to bounce some ideas off? What do you need from me? And at that point, you're gonna get an answer. Oh, I was just venting. I don't need anything. I just needed to get that off my shoulder. Or they're gonna say, okay, well, this is what I think. Did I do this? Did I approach this situation wrong? How did I get to this? How did we get to this point? If they ask you for your advice, then you give it. Don't offer your advice until it's asked for.
That's good. That's good.
Because again, it maybe not. They're not asking for advice. They just needed to vent. So, yeah.
So, and this thought really just popped in my head, and I know this is why we sometimes call this segment "Random Thoughts," but and hopefully this doesn't go all the way left on me. But what is the most, when you think of black couples, black power couples, what couple comes to your mind?
Okay, so are we doing this nationally, locally, like what?
Yeah, whatever.
So to me, my first is gonna be my bishop, pastor.
Big facts.
Bishop and Pastor Patty. They are my locals. They are my hands, the ones I can physically, tangibly put my hands on. There are a couple other couples around town, but they are the ones that I look to. As far as I want it out.
So this is the reason why I asked this question.
Okay.
We are currently reading this book, and I'm gonna go ahead and put people up on game. We are currently reading this book called His Needs, Her Needs.
Yes.
Don't remember the author, but you can look this up. It was written, I think, in 1984, so it's been around for a while. And this book goes through a lot of different scenarios: communication, intimacy, all types of stuff. But there is a chapter in particular, and this is the reason why I said, I don't know if this is going to backfire on me or not. There is a chapter specifically dealing with infidelity and how to overcome a spouse cheating, right? So in that regard, for me, and I'll go like celebrity, because that's how we started. One of those power couples that I always saw would have been Will and Jada. Now we know how sticky and how messy their relationship has been in the public, but to me one thing has remained, that through any transgression they're still together.
Yes. And I think that's because they made a promise to themselves. They made a promise to each other that no matter what, we here. It's us. It's us against the world. And even with us, we made that same we made that same one. We said, this is it. I'm not getting married again. I'm not doing this again. This is it. We're going to work through whatever cause, whatever issues that we may have. We're going to work through them. And I think that's the biggest thing, that whatever issues come, you're going to have to, there are going to be issues. Marriage is not flowers and roses.
This is a job. At the end of the day, this is a job. Absolutely.
You are choosing to be with someone. You're choosing to be with someone daily. So
Yes,
Just,
this is work. We
it's
don't
work.
like each other every day,
No,
just like you don't like your coworkers,
No.
but you still show up.
So at the end of when it's all said and done, when you open your eyes in the morning to your partner, you got to have more smiles than frowns.
Mm-hmm.
And in looking at your partner, if you can't smile more than you frown, then that's when you start asking yourself, what is this? What is this?
So if we get to that point to where we're no longer smiling, how do we get back to what made us?
Because then we have
get
to go.
together?
We have to go back and look at those things. Like, what were we doing when we were smiling? When we had those smiles, what were we doing?
Mm-hmm.
How were we interacting with each other? What was our conversations with each other? How were we? What were we doing with other? Because okay, let me just say this: everybody's gonna have a good relationship 9 times out of 10 when it comes to sex. Sex is that's just that. You gonna have a good moment in that time. That good time 9 times out of 10. But it has to be outside of that.
I saw a meme early. I didn't screenshot it either, and I should have since you just brought that up. But if I remember what it said correctly, it was something along the lines of sex is an intricate part of every relationship.
But it's not the only thing.
It's not the only thing, but you can't build a relationship without it.
You can't. It's with a long-term relationship, with a relationship period, whether it's short-term, long-term, married, whatever the case may be, 9 times out of 10, sex is going to play a big part of it. But it cannot only be sex. It can't. Not for the relationship to flourish, and for it to be a long-lasting relationship, and to be a fruitful relationship. It's going to be more than sex.
Mm-hmm.
Because quite frankly, most women, grown women anyway, because when you're younger, other things going on, but once you hit a certain point, most women can't be stimulated if their mind isn't there.
I agree with that. I think it took me a little while to understand that premise, or it might have just been because of what I was initially, I'm not going to say taught. No, I am going to say taught, but I had the wrong influences, and I realize that now.
That's what it is. So women, if you can stimulate the mind, other parts will stimulate. But if you don't stimulate that mind first, it's dry as the Sahara. It's just what it is. So with women, we are mental. It has to start with our mind. You have to clear our mind first, because if you don't, that she's looking for, or you're looking for her to achieve, is not going to be achieved.
Right.
So yes, sex in a relationship is intricate. It is. It is needed in a relationship. So don't get married thinking, oh, this is the biggest thing. Don't be tooting it up before you get married, and then when you get married, stop. Don't do that.
Don't really doing that? I believe you too, but yeah, I just gotta scratch my head on that one.
As it goes, as it says with men, the same thing that you was doing to get her.
Oh, you got to keep it going.
You got to keep it going.
Keep that same energy.
Keep that same energy.
Tiana Taylor, won't that one of her songs or an album or something?
Keep that same KTSE.
Keep that same energy.
Keep that same energy. You got to. And that goes for men and women in a relationship. Whatever you was doing when y'all was dating, keep it up. Keep it up. Cause 9 times out of 10, if you was tooting it up and you was whatever it was that you was doing when you was before you to get that ring, he gonna expect it times 10 once you say I do.
Oh yeah.
Because at that point, the marriage bed cannot be defiled. He want it.
You said that last pod, and I think that was that's, if you can get to that God level of intimacy,
Yes.
that God level of communication,
Yes.
then
Things change. It changes.
absolutely.
It gets better with time. Now, one thing some men may not realize. When you're younger, you going, let's get this thing. Yeah. You're throwing it to everybody that you can throw it to. But what you don't realize is when you get that one, when you settle down and you get your one.
We from the country. My brother-in-law has dubbed this the snapper. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, because when it snap,
it does just that. But with that, at the same time, when you get that one and you realize the older she gets, the more her libido goes.
oh, it's amazing and terrible at the same time. It's amazing.
So,
She hits you with the, you don't put in your best work. I really told this to somebody the other day too. Like, you coming in, if y'all have ever seen the movie Baby Boy, and you coming in and you don't put it down, you don't pull out your show enough A game, like you feel like you batting 1,000, right? And then you jump up like Tyrese did in that scene and you do your little dance. And then 30 seconds later, she turn around and hit you with that Mortal Kombat Scorpion. Get over here! I can't do nothing but laugh myself, because that's really is, whoa.
again,
And that's why they start putting honey packs and all of these pills in the gas station, because they already knew she was gonna hit you with the Mortal Kombat. Get over here! Yeah, I just had to add that to the conversation.
but again, it is to me, it's amazing and it's wonderful to see relationships grow and flourish. But the biggest part, communication.
Mm-hmm.
Emotional communication.
Absolutely.
You got finances have to be in order, taken care of. Sexual. All of those things play parts in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But none of those work if you don't communicate.
None of it. I agree 100%.
No relationship can flourish if you don't communicate. To the couples that are going through things, how are you communicating?
That's a good question.
How are you communicating?
Am I talking with you or am I talking at you?
And talking at me is not going.
We're not gonna get far.
We're not gonna get far. I'm gonna shut down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not listening to you. I'm not responding to you. I'm not gonna say anything. Or if you talking, depending upon the right one, you talking at me versus talking to me. You talking at me and I don't like what you saying. It's gonna be a rah. We finna fight.
Yeah. It's gonna be a clapback. I got a clapback type. Mine is about it. She was raised in the country. She is a very independent, strong woman, but she has always told me that no, I was never intended to do this by myself. Negro, I need you.
Yes.
And I need you to be who God intended you to be.
Absolutely.
So step into that role.
Absolutely. And the thing with it is, I saw my grandfather be provider, protector, all of that. He was a great communicator with me.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much with my grandmother. But and now looking at things and looking at how my grandmother is, I can understand his perspective.
Mm-hmm.
His was, I'm going to go to work. I'm going to bring this check home. I'm going to pay these bills. She can do what she want to do. I'm going to make sure this house take care of. I think that was the way a lot of the older people worked.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have to go to life and how the dynamic of life was
at that time,
growing up in those generations.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's how he operated. And with my mom and my stepfather watching them, their dynamic was a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
My mom is a very strong woman.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she is.
And she likes things done her way. And so my pops, keep the peace.
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want, that's what I'm gonna do.
I started Senspaya during the pandemic. My parents bought me this candle kit to keep me busy, but my love for crafting quickly turned it into a business. Each candle is 100% soy wax with hemp wicks. Hand poured and made with love. This is the part of the script where my dad would say to buy some candles, but you're gonna do that anyways. Help support future pilots.
Sometimes he gave a little pushback, but for the most part, he did what she asked. But what I had to learn with me and you is that that's not the type of person you were. Let me say this, so nobody don't say it. You absolutely catered to me. Sometimes to the detriment. There were times earlier on when you should have said no, and you didn't.
I can't disagree to that.
You gave me what I wanted. Might not have been when I wanted it, but it was several days or a week later. You dined under the 10 and gave me what I want. But it wasn't until you stepped into your kingdom, your role as this leader of this house, and when things change. And let me just say this: we started young.
Mm-hmm.
We started really, really young. We were dating, and then after dating for years, we did get married. But even although we said I do, we still operated almost like boyfriend and girlfriend.
Truth.
So, although we were living in the house together, we were doing all the things that married people do.
We were basically good friends with benefits.
Exactly. And it wasn't until, I would say, 11 years in, that the dynamic shift happened. But in that regard, we both grew up together.
Mm-hmm.
Versus we got married young. So some people would have been out partying in the streets, running doing all of this stuff, whereas we did that stuff together.
Facts.
We did it together. We weren't out, doing other stuff. Now, granted, he did do some stuff that he shouldn't have done. However, we grew through that. We learned how to operate, how to communicate with each other. We learned what a marriage is, not was, what a marriage is, and that it takes work to be here.
And I just want to add to that, and I really feel like I heard this in church, but you have to learn what marriage looks like for you.
Exactly.
Not necessarily
somebody else.
Correct. Not necessarily what you hear, what you see, or even what you read. And I know I'm talking about these books, and I'll go as far as to, in the Bible, like a marriage between two people is going to be different. This is almost like art. Art is one of the most subjective things on the planet.
Agreed.
Right? So nobody can tell you what's best for you and your partner, but you and your partner.
Exactly. Because what works in one household won't work in another one.
Absolutely not.
It won't. I can tell you that in order to get past what the things that we, our issues, I had to look at the greater good. Like, is this one thing? Am I going to let this one thing define our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
No. How does this one thing outweigh everything else? It doesn't. Has it been more good than this bad?
Mm-hmm.
It has. My grandfather, when I told him me and you, when I told him we were getting married, and he said, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Girlie, all I gotta say is this. Do he make you smile more than he make you frown? I say yes. Okay. On your good days, he said even on your bad days, do you still think of him? Absolutely. Thought about it. He said, well, I ain't got to sleep with him. You do. He said, I'm going to support your decision. As long as he make you happy, I'm happy. Now the minute he make you unhappy, don't come tell me, because I'm gonna be unhappy. And then when you go back to being happy, I'm still gonna be unhappy. So I said this to say that this biggest thing, when you commit to your partner, don't go tell your family your business.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely.
Don't tell your family your business. Even if your best friend is your cousin, your sister, no. Don't tell your family your business. Because again, what happens is when y'all work y'all issues out.
And I don't want to cut you off, but I just want to add to this. For the fellas, you at work, and we have this thing called the work boo, the work wife, the work husband.
Don't do it.
Don't fall in that trap.
Don't do it.
Don't fall in that trap, because you got somebody that's real cute in the face and has a good conversation for those 8 or 10 hours, whatever your shift is, you feel like you have somebody that you can vent to, and then you start running and telling this person everything that you see wrong in your person.
Mm-hmm.
All you are doing is throwing gasoline on top of a growing fire.
Yep.
You are emotionally detaching from your relationship and creating another one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to cause friction.
Absolutely. Because what's going to happen when your spouse, because you're still together, when your spouse comes around, you have something at your job, say a work party or something comes around, or your spouse comes to visit you at work. Now your work spouse,
they automatically gonna have an attitude when they see your person.
Automatically. And your spouse is none the wiser, because they don't know what the heck is going on.
Right. They
looking at this person like, well, why they got this attitude towards me? I ain't done it to them. I don't know them.
You basically pillow talking at work.
Exactly.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Because what ends up happening there, you think the grass is green. It's real lush and real pretty and all of that over there.
Mm-hmm.
And your grass over here, because you're not watering it, it's turning brown.
Mm-hmm.
But then what happens is when you have burnt your grass up, you run over there to that side.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get over there,
not realizing how much fertilizer and how much Miracle Grow they had to put on that grass to make it as green as you thought it was.
Then when you get over there, you realize, oh, this is a bunch of bull. I should have stayed over here. What you have now done, you gave up your 80 for the 20.
I first heard Tyler Perry say that in one of his movies.
You gave up your 80 for the 20, but now somebody else has noticed your 80. And they have started watering your 80.
Oh, she finna preach now.
And now your 80 has now gone back up to 100 because it's been watered. But what you have done, you sat over there and you like, oh, my it look real pretty back over there. And now your what was to you 80, now it's gone back up to 100, and she don't want you no more. Or he or she don't want you no more.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be careful when you are pillow talking outside of your marriage. Your pillow talking should only be with your partner.
Big facts.
And your partner is your partner for a reason. You chose them for a reason.
Big facts.
So whatever reason it was that you chose them, you need to look at all of that and say, okay, how did we get to the point where we're no longer friends? How did we get to the point, how did we go from being lovers, homies, friends, to nothing? How did we go? What was the decline?
Mm-hmm.
And number one, you can't say kids, because number one, kids are going to grow up and they're going to leave.
Absolutely. We cannot make the kids the center of our relationship.
You cannot.
Can't do it.
Cannot. You love them. Yes, you
We
do.
do.
They are a fruit of your loins.
We
Yes.
get memories and a
All of
lot of
that.
great stories
All of that.
from the kids.
Yes. I just realized, I kid you not, it was less than 2 weeks ago that I realized with my daughter, oh God, I have 4 years left with her. That's it. I literally got 4 years, at the max 5. 4 to 5 years left of her at my home. Because at that point, she's going to be grown.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to be making a decision as to, is she going to go to college? What she's going to do in her next point of her life.
Mm-hmm.
It hit me then, like, oh my God. And even today after church, one of Kristen, she had said the same thing, like, oh my God, like, it really, she started crying. It's like I said, I understand, because I already had my moment. It literally, to see your children grow up, and then you have that realization that it's not going to stay there. They're going to go. So at that point, you have to say, not even at that point, when the children when they're introduced to the world, when they come into the world, you have to determine, okay, I have them for 18 years. I have them for 18 years. But I signed up to you for a lifetime.
Ooh. Yes.
So, am I going to let those 18 years take away from my lifetime? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
I'm going to do what I need to do to make sure that my life, still here, and we're still together when those 18 years come and go. So, I'm not finna, me personally, can't tell you what to do for you. But I'm saying, for me, I'm going to make sure that my relationship with my husband, with my spouse, is working at 100%. And when it's not working at 100%, I need to know where we are. What can we do to get back to that 100? Because I'm not going to let nothing come between that.
The only thing I can add to that, and you know it's because I'm a hip-hop guy, is the line from J. Cole. It's always going to be something out there better on them tours.
Yes.
But you ain't never going to be happy until you love yours.
Got to. And that's the thing. I think I realized that part with me a long time ago. Yes, I'm cute. I give toot my own horn. You doggone right.
Yes, you should. Yes,
I am cute. But I realized there's someone out there that you may find more attractive than me. Okay. That's fine. But she can't do what I do.
I was gonna say it, but you said it. I was absolutely gonna say it. Somebody even for the guys, and I got this from my old head. And not to be too vulgar, but this is a grown folks podcast or show. He said, when the lights go off, you can't tell if it's pink or you don't know.
You don't know.
You just know how it feels.
That's it.
So
that's it. I mean, even with when it's all said and done with, are you gonna take care of home?
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna walk away from home and let somebody else take care of it? Because what is it, Shirley Murdoch, cleanup woman?
Oh yeah, this is a real thing.
That's a real thing.
That's a real thing.
It's a real thing. What does age-old saying go? What you won't do, somebody else will.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, that goes back to the 80-20. Are you willing to walk away from your 80 to go to 20? Like, to me, that doesn't make any sense. Nobody is perfect.
Nobody. That's
Nobody.
another J. Cole song.
Nobody is perfect. So how can you walk away and not give it 100% in trying to fix it?
Because we don't want to do the work. That's the only answer. That's
what it boils down to.
because we don't want to do the work.
But the sad part to that is, if you don't do the work, your next relationship is going to have the same demise.
The same outcome. Absolutely.
Because you didn't go through, you didn't figure out.
You did the work.
You didn't do the work. You didn't do the work to figure out what was going on. Why does this keep happening? And at the end of the day, if you keep having the same issue, there is one common denominator in it all. You.
Ooh, that was a bar.
So, if you are having the same issue in every relationship, whether that be with a boyfriend or a friend or whatever the case may be, any ship that you're in, and you keep having the same issue, you are the problem.
It definitely ain't them.
It ain't them.
It ain't them.
It ain't them. So you got to do some inner working and figure out why you keep coming up with this same result. What is it in you that you ain't worked through that you keep giving the same result? So again, you got to do the work. Communication is key, whether you communicating with someone or you communicating with yourself. Communication is key.
Communication is key.
You have to know yourself. This is the other thing, and we can say this because we got together young. Ask questions.
Absolutely. Don't assume anything.
Don't assume anything, because it's assume. What does it spell? You make an ass out of you and me. Don't assume anything. Ask the question.
Ask questions. The only dumb question is the one you don't ask.
Point blank. And you can't build on a lie. So if you start off fronting, making somebody think you got something that you don't have, and then when you get this person used to a certain level, and then they have become accustomed to this certain level, and then you like, whoa, I ain't got it like that. What you mean you ain't got it like that? What you mean? That's how you got me.
Keep that same energy.
Keep that same energy.
This is fun.
It is.
I love doing these segments. Somebody came up to us. Shout out to my home church.
Yes.
Star Hope Original Free Real Baptist in Sanford, North Carolina. I had to get the whole name out. But we went to a service there a couple weeks ago. And
Friends and family.
Friends and family, that's what it was. Somebody walked up to us and said, I absolutely love watching your family online.
Yes.
So I think I want to do something, I don't know if it's special, but content is king in this day and age. And I now see why I did it and how it benefits us, because I purchased you a cell phone, right? With the intent, and this is the whole, going back to what she said, I always gave her what she wanted. She wanted the brand new, at that time it was the brand new iPhone 12 or whatever. And the agreement was, okay, we're going to move to New Hampshire, and you got to document everything. Liam was small. When I left for New Hampshire, Liam was 30 days old.
Yes, he was.
And even going through that was definitely a power
Hard.
struggle. It was hard for both of us. For me being away from my family and my newborn son, and for you not to have your provider, your protector there. So of course, when I moved y'all up there, it was like, all right, babe, you gotta document everything. We're gonna turn it into a reality TV show. And I think we can do that now. The same way you get these segments on love and hip hop and Real Housewives of Atlanta, and like, I just think I want to compile all this footage and then just watch it back and give our reactions, because I remember a lot of this, like especially the breastfeeding time. Me and Liam, we used to have battles.
They used to have battles. It's so hilarious.
They might not be able to watch it on YouTube though, which is going to bring up another point, because I'm a creative, so like some of this stuff we might actually have to really start an OnlyFans channel, which is not what you think. Okay, your brain automatically went to it's going to be some porn type stuff,
it's
right?
Not.
That's not what OnlyFans is set up for. You are able to do that, but OnlyFans is for people to be able to, I guess, communicate with their true fans. And some of this stuff might be a little more
R-rated.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more. It could be not just R-rated. It could be X-rated. So
if that's the way that you choose to tailor your content.
A lot of the things, a lot of our conversations, we tailor them so they can be.
For this segment, we absolutely tailor them.
Yeah, we tailor them so they can be a lot more user friendly. Whereas on OnlyFans, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, so I'm really just putting it out there, so when the people, because y'all know what I do, and I'm not leaving my position. I am high and mighty on my post. I love what I do.
Absolutely.
I love the people that I get to connect with, the opportunities that I get working with the church. But at the same time, like, we gotta have these conversations, and I think
we gotta look at some other. I think, what is the other one? Patreon.
It's basically the same thing.
Okay. Well,
we could definitely go to Patreon instead of OnlyFans, but it's the exact same thing.
We might do that one, just so
they don't get the stigma. They finna be on here. They finna be getting it in, and
we're not.
Nah. Now, if you need some pointers,
we can give you those. Definitely give you those.
We deep. And
we can tell you what to do, how to do, all that good stuff.
The love is strong over here.
Oh, absolutely,
very strong.
but and that's another thing too. You have to be.
Oh, here we go. See, we told y'all these segments is. I hear a Liam coming. And I know y'all can hear these because these mics are.
That's good. The big one too.
It's both of them.
That's both of them.
In the middle of the recording, we love it. We love it. Are they playing or are they fighting?
I think they're playing.
Okay.
They're playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But go ahead, finish what you were saying.
I done lost my train of thought.
It's just laughter all in the background. See, and this is what every home, I'm not even going to say black home, this is what every home should be.
Absolutely. Your kids should be able to have fun in their own home.
Absolutely.
They should be able to run around, have a good time. Your home is your castle. Yes.
Facts.
But it should not be so rigid to where the kids can't run and have a good time.
And if you're wondering, yes, I absolutely have the means and the resources that I could have went and got an office, or I have access to studios, but why? If you got the space and you're blessed to have the space and you don't have to leave. That was one of, like, I remember when we built this house, that was, I need a studio. As my daughter sits here looking at me doing her little dance that y'all can't see on camera. She is so funny. She is funny with a milkshake in her hand. That's Italian.
All day. Another milkshake. She got a milkshake for real.
I get it. She had a straw in the cup, so I'm just assuming it's a milkshake.
No, it's probably not.
It might not be. Yeah.
No, for the say she already had a hand ice cream. Like she.
Oh, so yeah, she juiced up right now.
I'm gonna need her not to load up on sweets though. We going to dinner though.
Yeah, You what? Tea. Oh, it's tea. If y'all hear that, it's caffeine. So that's why she's so wired right now. You came downstairs and interrupted us. You knew we were filming right now. See, I told y'all this is, even though it's recorded, it's all live. Like, it's unscripted. This is what you get. We appreciate you for tuning in as
absolutely, absolutely.
I don't need. Is that how we end it?
That's how we end it.
That's how we end it.
This is what you get. This is us. This is the real us.
The real
unscripted. We don't do no scripts. We just come off the cuff. This is us. Thank you for tuning in. We love you. See you next time.